Alrighty. Oh, well, microphone. Here we are. I think I'm hearable. I am hearable. I'm here. A bull. Hello, peoples in the world, in the universe. I'm going to work on stuff tonight. Tonight we're going to work on some top secret stuff that Jacob can never find out about. Thankfully, he doesn't watch my streams. And so rather than tell him what I'm going to do, I'm just going to... If I get it to work, it'd be great. I don't think tonight's going to be the night that I achieve it, but I'm going to start on the path, as it were. We have been doing a lot of bug fixes for our hopefully soon release that we still have to finish testing. We've knocked out some long-standing issues that have been there forever. So I still got a few more I have to do really to make this less messy. But I'm kind of looking forward to this. It's going to be a pretty big update. And I'm a little hesitant to put it out right away. I think we might do, well, I mean, we're definitely going to do beta, a beta build, but we have to get through at least a basic test run for that. And then once that's out, we'll figure out when we'll launch it. So rather than work on bug fixes tonight, I'm going to work on one feature enhancement and maybe some planning. I might work on one of the bug fixes just because, but no, I don't know. I'm drinking a Monster tonight. Hashtag not sponsored. However, I found a smaller version of Monster. So the downside version has less caffeine and other ingredients, and therefore it's more healthy. That's what that means, right? Less quantity means more healthy. So that's what we're going to do. Drink some Monster, work on things. I'm going to just get it fired up right about... Oh, wait. My audio. Right about meow. I don't actually need to work on this. What I want to work on tonight is linear walking. Probably one of the most basic types of functionality that can exist. And in the Smile Game Builder system, since it's not available inherently to their commands, it's more complicated to introduce than if I were to just make it in Unity without an engine behind an engine. But it's just how it goes. So what I want to do is sort of do some investigation. Because I want to like take some notes on how SGB makes decisions on movement and hunts down the places. Oh, okay. The places in which I want to make my changes to. So let's do class method. Maybe I'll do class. I'll do class.method. I don't think I'm going to be doing like a line by line breakdown as much, but we'll see. I think I more want. Well, maybe. I guess I could do the same thing I've done before. So I think I kind of know where things are, but we're going to take a look into our system. We're going to find out what places might help us understand where to make the change. So making linear movement inherently is not hard in Unity. You can just lerp. You can just basically tell it to interpret between 2 points, a value over the course of time. It's on every update loop. So that's not really a problem. However, there's other complications like how it interacts with the map and so on. So the first place that the 2 places I'm going to look before I start writing things down. I'm going to close all of this nonsense. There's two places in which movement happens. In the script runner, there's a walk command. Function type walk. There's also a player walk, but I think they both call the same move command. I should check this out. Yeah, so they use this func move method. It actually lives in the base script runner. So this method is the thing that does all of the scripted movement. There's a lot of garbage in it. And this one is not what I want to worry about. What's their route move? That's like the character following a route. But it's not pathfinding, unfortunately. This is their, like, you know, a behavior where a character moves in like a section that they can walk in. Anyway, so we'll go back up. So this one place is in func move. The other place I know movement happens, and it happens in a non-grid based fashion, is in the map engine. And that would be in proc player for free move. And then there is something in here. Where did the laughter come from? Oh, Tom Sutton. How are you, Tom? Just here having a great conversation with myself. What are you up to tonight, sir? Is it in the follower engine? Maybe it is. Do you like my my mini monster? It's smaller than regular monster, so therefore it's healthier. Because it's less quantity. For a second, I thought your description of yourself said professional trainer. And I was like, oh, I didn't know you did that too. That sounds cool. Then I realized I just don't know how to read. Okay, so we need to look at move followers. Okay, which is interesting because this is actually what gets used for the player too, weirdly. Waiting for your dinner. Oh boy. Oh, Game Boy. What are you cooking? Can I ask? May I ask what your dinner's going to be? What's cooking hot stuff? Okay, so all this stuff in the proc player, this doesn't matter. What matters is something else, which is right down here. This is what matters. You matter, Tom. I didn't know they had... So you guys have Nothing Fancy brand up in Canada? That's cool. I thought I was the only one that had the Nothing Fancy brand. We have No Name. Yeah, like No Name steaks and stuff. That's also a brand. I didn't know about that brand until I moved to Minnesota. And then it was like, oh, what's this? It doesn't have a name. No, that is their name. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ooh, buddy. Disillusionist. Minnesota's pretty cool. I think so. Do recommend to move there. Very nice nowadays. Everything No Name is yellow. Base is yellow. I don't know what that means. Minnesota's a pretty nice place, I'd say. Can't complain. That's true. It's making up for the past couple years of having no water. We got to refill all those lakes. Drove over the Cannon River tonight. That sounds like it was a blast. Get it? Blast. Don't want you to go out with a bang. Okay. So, here's my theory. I think instead of worrying about the stupid walk engine, I think instead of worrying about all this garbage here, I should use this garbage here. Because this thing will walk. By the way, feel free to distract me from working. I'm going to, when there's pauses, put my brain back. But, you know, hopefully you're doing well, disillusionist, by the way. Tom's making me hungry with talks about food. Okay. So this is the meat and potatoes of it. I'm gonna put this as part of my investigation. So really, we're gonna go down here, 259 of the follow end. We're gonna do map engine dot follow engine dot. What is the name of the stupid method? Move follow. Oh, go back. $10 hours at a family reunion. How many family is there? What's worm span? Something with dragons? Wormies? Or is it like gummy worms? I'm thinking about food now. 257. Okay, so we'll do 257, 263. 257 to 263. Go right there. I don't really need this, but I'm just doing it for my reference. Description. This or place in which followers are moved freely and likely a place to learn. Yep. Have you played the board game Wingspan or seen it? No, I have not. But I inferred board game. That's what it would be. Oh boy. Oh boy. Boy. That looks cool. These games take so much time though. Thanks for the resubscription. Where am I gonna? I guess I could immortalize you in the follower code now. You could be in the SGB engine. Today is the 29th. How did this freaking month go by so fast? Oh boy, for yet another sub at 35 months. What do I even say anymore? You are neat, I guess. Thanks, Killboy. How's your game going, Killboy? I want to know. It was almost a 2-hour drive and they had to shoot you out of a cannon to get across that bridge. Only about 15-20 people. Your SO's family. Okay. Wow. That's a lot. 40 plus. It does take a long time to play. We also did a few short ones. How would I say this? I like the idea of games like that, but not the effort it takes to set them up. If someone did all the other work and they just handed me the stuff to do it, I might be okay with playing games like that. But we also have a problem where half of our friends, when we did play games, would really be serious about it, and the other half just wanted to talk. It's really kind of a bummer to try and get that working. Okay, so meow. We've got a couple of interesting things going on here. This, I believe, we could almost just literally use this. Like, this is code in the follow engine that says, we've determined a new point for you to move. And we're going to set the position of the character based upon that movement. Totally understandable. I implemented dash, and now I'm working on the enemy state machine. What are you using for your state machine? Are you using Playmaker or Bolt, or there's another one? There's like a behavior one. We have that issue too. We meet up every third Saturday at a game store. There's free tables, and some of us come to chat, and some are there to game. Thankfully, it's a 75-25 split. The chatty ones get corralled. I mean, that's legit. Listen, I think it's great that people want to hang out. You're writing it. Okay. What are you using for your... Wait, are you using nodes, or are you doing pure code? Back to Disillusionist. It's okay. You want to be here and you want to chat, but then go chat with the chatty ones. And if someone else wants to be part of the chatty group, then they can go over there and be chatty. But our serious gamers, the real gamers, know how to combine chatting with getting sheets done. They know how to like the ones that you know what you're going to do next. You're paying attention, but you can kind of divide some time. Those are the gamers you want to play with if you want to catch up. Then there's the people who just want to play, and they're like, I only care about playing right now. Let's focus. That's the thing, you know. One that comes to just talk and watch us play games, which we appreciate. They don't slow the process. Yeah. Pure code, Killboy. I don't even know who you are anymore. You used to be all about that Unreal, visual coding, and now you're writing code from scratch by hand. You're not even using like Xnode to create a node-based system. Game dev is so different from my day job. Okay, let's see what this does. Actually, I'm gonna go put a note here. The script. Actually, the block of code here is effective. We want to pull out leverage for an improved linear this will effectively allow for specifying points and then building the movement. Whoa, Marcus! Hey, what kind of channel is this? Are you a game dev? Kind of. I'd still rather use Unreal. Okay, that's fair. Marcus, I was just thinking of you. I went in, so I have some new potential people doing QA, actual like QA people, and I was talking to them, and I actually was sending them the game, and I had some of them like friended me on Steam, and I was in there, and it said, "Oh, this many of your friends want this game." I thought I sent you a key to the game, but you still have it wishlisted. I was like, should I gift Marcus the game? But then I think you might already have it. Don't recall. Then I thought, what's Marcus doing these days? Remember back in the day when Marcus was just around and he used to work late at night, so we'd have these calls and we'd hang out and chat. Those were the days. Caveat. I don't think this engine portion accounts for collisions, so we may I no longer work late at night. I know. So what are you doing up so late? What time is it there right now? 2? Are you in a different country right now, and so you can be up this time? 4 a.m.? Why are you up at 4 a.m.? I mean, I'm glad to have you here. Don't get me wrong. Incidentally, so context. I am right now working on linear movement, the ability to script a character moving from one point to another in a straight line, as opposed to what it does now. It does this little like jerky movement. And the reason is vacation. Okay. You took 3 weeks off. Congrats. I'm glad that you're getting time off. Can we catch up sometime? Should we try to do one of our Thursday hangouts? And, well, wait, it couldn't because it's too late. I want to see what you're up to. Or just, Discord me. Fine. I miss Marcus. If I could go find it, I'd go do the But Marcus thing. Anyway, switching gears back to what I was saying. The top secret thing that I'm working on, which I'm totally fine sharing because the great part is Jacob never comes to my stream. I'm going to share this.
Marcus. You knew I want to be a rock star. There's too many rock stars in the world, but only one of you, Marcus.
Yeah, so that's the big idea. I hope you guys like it. Hopefully you got all of it. I was trying to be really explicit about the notion, but I don't want to repeat it since I just told you guys. You guys heard it, right? Like the classic joke from those. No, okay, so let me explain. I'm going to explain. Oh man, I'm so going to explain. I'm going to explain in visuals. And I'm sure you all probably see this coming. So we have our enhanced battle system that actually in this update release, we are removing the option for people to enable it for a very specific reason. People don't understand the concept of a beta menu. And so we have negative reviews because people went in, enabled enhanced battles, and then the game crashed and like, this sucks. The game's crashing every second battle. It's like, yeah, you enabled a feature that literally says there may be instability. And now you're giving us a negative review because of your inability to process the fact that you created your own problem, right? But we created the problem by allowing that feature. Anyway, back to enhanced battles. I was thinking about the whole concept of the battle system. And there's a couple components to battles that we need to address. One is I need to make monsters be, how do I say this? They're like first-class citizens on the map, which means rather than being some generic event that we script up in a certain way, I want the concept of a monster that can start a battle or a group of monsters that can be in a battle to be something that's more explicitly defined. So that if we drop a monster onto the map that has the basic behavior of a monster, then there'll be things that they'll do by default without us having to script it. And I'll make it so we can still script around it, but if we do that, then we can have more, I think, realistic behaviors, because we'll have these on-map battles, or not on-map battles. We'll have these on-map abilities in which you can shoot the monsters, or you can hit them with a stick or something before the battle to like prep them. But in the whole thought process, I mean, I did kind of just give it away, but I just realized like I am a complete Chrono Trigger buff, right? I used to think that I loved RPGs. It turns out I only love certain RPGs because like modern day RPGs are okay, but they get overwhelming. There's too much crud. You know, they're not terrible. It's just like I don't have the same connection with modern RPGs as I do with retro. Obviously, because we're making a retro style. But you know, like you go into a battle and you get this, and it's okay, I guess. But wouldn't it be really cool if the battles were on the map? I think it would be really cool. I know that, like, you know, and there's so many problems that are generated by the way this system works. So my wild hair in my bum is, and it's a hairy bum, by the way, TMI, is to see if I can find a way to make this possible. It all starts with linear movement, though, because part of our battle system, we want to be able to have the characters like move up and attack, and so I've got to be able to solve some, like, a fundamental problem. And I realized that the one thing I have to solve first is linear movement with objects, so I can like linearly set things from one point to the next. And it's like one of the most fundamental things you would do in Unity. In fact, most people have a problem with that because they don't want it to look so linear. They want, like, you know, more smooth curves and all that shit. I don't care about any of that. I just want to get the ability to make one character move in a straight line to something else, regardless of where the point is on the map. So yeah, the end goal, the crazy goal, the goal that I'm not going to tell Jacob unless I can make it work, is to prototype the ability to make the battles figure on the map. And I will tell you that I'm also very, very close to the notion of just freaking doing it from scratch. Making a battle system from scratch. I'm backing away from that mentally because I think that there's enough positive, like, there's enough within the current battle system that I can retrofit. But I'm still like of the mind that I could almost just like completely morph it into exactly what I want and not be beholden to the Smile Game Builder battle system. So I'd reuse stuff that they have, but I wouldn't like start battles with their system. I would make my own way to do the entire thing. So all that starts with, can I make a character walk in a straight line? So this is how this works. Math. Arzulo, how's it going? It's the big week this week, right? This week is the big week. 4th of July. No, I was... that too, I suppose. Okay. So this is I mean, all this does is, in this case, it's determining the DX and DY, which is the destination X and Y, I think is what D stands for. No sweating. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Listen, I'm rooting for you, but if it doesn't work out, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Talking to my boss, and he wants to foist some of his own candidates on me. I'm just like, I don't know. I haven't found a lot of good development candidates in the automotive space with the industry I work in. Okay, so next position, Durrad. What is this crap here? What is next position? How does it set the Durrad? Durrad. So basically what this is doing is like a very complicated lerp. So it's calculating the next X and Y value, and it's setting the direction, which I think it's just stealing from whatever the player direction was. And it's setting the direction from a radian. And then it's also setting the values of the character. I don't understand why it's doing this twice. There must be two different reasons. I can look at the code, but I've just been slamming leak code 2 weeks now, and oh boy, do I love it. Well, if you think about it, then why are you trying so hard? If you don't love it. Because once you start a job, all that stuff you're going to have to live up to. You're going to have to just love it and be the best at it ever. Set direction, specify a radian value. So this is doing like a target direction. What the frick is this? M target. This must be the movement target direction. Okay, direction. I mean. So what I think I can do is leverage this in, like the logic from here to create movement based on a set direction. And I think what I'm going to do for like an experiment here is I'm going to steal this entire garbage and move it somewhere else. I don't know where I want to move it to though. I hope it isn't solving 50 different is this an anagram problems. Well, then why would they test you on that stuff? How does testing you on something that you're not going to do in your job help define whether you'd be a good fit for the job? Huh? Tell me that answer. I laugh because otherwise I'd cry. That's the $1 million question. We'd all be rich. It's, you know what it is? You know what it really is? It's like why you need a college degree. It's like why when the whole like thing about event coordinators, when they have like the talent showing up and they make these absurd demands like you must have all red Skittles in a bowl. And it's the way they use to validate someone did the thing that they expect. And so it gives them some reasonable assurance that if they were able to do that, then the other bigger things will be taken care of. It's not truly a test of your ability. You might hate this. It's not a test of your ability. I don't know if I want to say it. It's a test of your conformity. And if you're going to work in a big corporate structure, you got to have conformity, right? So walk to point. This is the one that I actually specified a walk path. Yeah, not saying I don't understand the system. You can still judge it though. Well, and I was more like generically talking about how this stuff works, because I'm sure you get the system. If you're going to be applying at the companies that you're talking about, you probably understand how the game works. But I don't like it because I don't think that you should hire somebody just that can check boxes. I've hired people like that before and they did not pan out. Okay, so we have this walk command. So what do I want to do here? I almost feel like I want to crack my voice. I almost feel like I want to cheat. And instead of like doing their garbage, I just literally make my own command for it, like my own method. What I'm going to do in this up here is I'm going to do create the method. I'll have to go back and do some writing real quick, but I'm going to theorize a little bit about how this might work. So the investigation, which I found out real quickly. And then approach would be like, given that we have already effectively moves a character based on inputs in a non-grid way, it seems like we could extract the relevant pieces of the move method and specify inputs that ensure we should not need to create a new class. Able to add the method into the walk. Runtime code. Anyway, I hope that I hope that by the end of it, just by virtue of the fact that you had to learn all that stuff, that there'll be some like nuggets of value increased, you know? It is a little interesting to me after years and years and years of learning things, how you can still learn things about life in the world that have always been there. Like, not like you had, like you've been exposed to it too. People would say things and like you just don't get it. You just don't get it. And then somewhere down the line, it clicks. You're like, oh, well, that's why. Of course. I always find that interesting. And not just about coding, just life in general. Spitting facts. Sometimes you gotta... No, I'm not gonna do that. That new meme going around is not appropriate. I am an absorber of material in the world too. The more interesting things I find about the world is like how a small amount of nudging can create a lot of change in thinking. Like, you know, there's bot farms that post on social media, and now with AI, it sounds, you know, a lot of the stuff sounds a lot more human. And it can be spread out across the internet, and you consume this material, and even if you don't believe it for sure, you're inundated with it so much that it still affects your thinking. Isn't that so interesting? Yet I can't unplug because here, you know, there I am looking at Reddit, seeing what new doom scrolling thing I can look at for the day, especially after this week. Okay, so what we're gonna do is what? Make independent new linear independent of linear. Use a waiter in the code to ensure the code contains complete. Hey, Potato! I am working on this game right here. This is the game I'm working on, Alterium ship. Out here in the Steamiverse. Currently on sale, early access, so it's not fully complete. Demo and everything, all the things available. And so the summer sale is happening now, and we've been trying to get a release out. I've been spending more time this week working on bug fixes, and we've fixed a ton of bugs in the game. But tonight, I am just working on linear movement and potentially completely working on a new battle system. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Potato, and thanks for your well-wishing. What was I doing? So let me go back to my writing. Huge sale. You plan on doing a launch sale? I think we will. Like, my thought process is we'll also do a pre-launch sale. Like when we've locked in, or we have a sense of when the date is going to be. I think what we'll do is like one final big sale that says, listen, we're not going to do any more sales until the game launches. This is your chance to get it at, you know, a really good price. So kind of a last minute boost. And then for the launch sale, we'll probably do something. But I mean, when the game is launched, it will also be more expensive. So I think from a marketing perspective, we try to do like one push when we're maybe a quarter plus out from the full launch. And then we're also going to add some incentives to people who want to get early access. Because what we're retroactively going to figure out is if someone has or had early access, what we'll likely do is embed something into the game so that if you were to have opened it or played it under early access, you'll get something. I'm not sure what that'll be yet. It could be probably multiple things. I do want to make an achievement for it too. It's like the only way you could have gotten it is if you actually had gotten and played early access. I don't know if that's unfair, but kind of want to do it. Hey, people supported us early. Why not? We're also going to PAX. Is there a way to check through the Steam API? No, I don't think I want to do it that way. I think the easiest way to do it is before the launch, we'll have some update in the code that if you play the game at that time, it'll embed that you are playing early access. Because there's no way, we'll make it so there's no way that you, after the launch, we'll remove it. So there's no way after the launch that you could get that thing, whatever it is. Of course, if someone clears their persistent cache, it would be a problem. I think when we start testing achievements, the best way, one of the easiest things would be checking achievements. So when we start testing achievements on Steam, we'll just throw an achievement in there that you're an early supporter or something, and you'll get the achievement, and then we can check that later. Right, it's so what's very interesting to me is the the distributed nature of the deployment of the game. It's not like we have a centralized product like a SaaS thing that you log into. You could probably get some of that information from Steam, but I'm not sure what. I haven't looked into it yet. But the easiest way is it's not for me to know. I don't need to validate with people. I want them to do the validation themselves. So then I don't even have to have the knowledge of it, right? I just have to know hey, here's a thing that will only be available to someone who has had or played early access. We haven't gotten to that point yet. I think when we do the 75% content launch, we'll throw something in there like that though. Use basic lerping ? Or move forward to bada bing, bada boom. Gotcha. I don't know if you're covering the case of people who downloaded, installed, and removed cache, but that's beyond the care. Well, I would like it to be ubiquitous. So I would love to be able to come up with a way that anybody who had early access, regardless of whether they downloaded and played it, would get this. So there's probably a way to do that. I just haven't looked into it. So I'd have to figure out if there's a way. I mean, I could probably just chat. I don't know. It's funny. I was also thinking about ChatGPT. It's not as prevalent in my life as I thought it would be. I use it, but when I started seeing the images you could generate, I'll be generating images all the time. I know there's some people who are opposed to that because of the nature of how the image material was trained, but I just don't care. I don't care to do it. It's almost like the abundance of ability to do it makes me less interested in wanting to use it. Okay, so I'm going to say walk on. Execute linear walk. I remember back in the day, demo discs and Xbox Live demos prior to game launches, they would just for the presence of demo save data. I always thought that was cool. I did that with Sandy's demo live. I pulled the saves over. Yeah, I mean the saves transfer with ours, so that's easy. The persistent data is what I would probably use So if someone decides to delete the persistent information, that would be a problem. But we do have cloud saves, so that stuff does get saved in the cloud save section. So I don't think it would ultimately be a problem, I guess. Okay, so we're going to execute a linear walk, and we're going to have to do it in the context of a command. So in this case, I need the script builder. This is my like my way of creating their object. Script builder. Script builder.execute. No, runtime code. That's what. Wait. Why is that not working? Runtime code. I guess I don't need the parentheses here. I don't know why I always add the parentheses. Big brain. I look at the problems we have to solve, and sometimes like, how thorough do you want the problem solution to be, right? How much work do I want to do for the user? I'm sure most users would say they want you to do all the work. But one other problem I found is if you do too much work for the user, it can backfire. And they can be upset that you did so much work for them. Because you took away choices from them because you made choices instead of letting them make it. Of course, conversely, I let people turn on beta options in the menu that broke the game, and then they gave us negative reviews for them. So, maybe I shouldn't be so generous or something. I've been burned before. Okay, so let's think about how this code is going to work. First off, linear walk is, let's go look at walk to point. Actually, it doesn't really matter where we're walking to, because even walk to character has a path in it. I'm going to have to figure out how to intercept linear directions. Use me. I thought I had a direction thing. Path? Walk path. There you go. Game devs who can't balance their time don't make it. Listen to Motzi. Balancer. Me balancing my time? What does that even mean? If I could balance my time, the game would be released by now. There's also the maxim of like, if you ever want to get something done, give it to the busy person. Person who has too much crap to do. Okay, so I do walk path. I guess I use it 3 times. Okay. So I feel like I would have to do some jankiness here. How much work do I want to do on this point? I think that we'll start with 2 point. We'll just see if we can get this one to work, right? So what I'll do is I'll just steal all of these parameters. And then if oh wait, what are walk paths? I do have linear. Look at that. I put it ages ago. Yeah, I'm very close to being able to share exactly why we've been delayed. And Jacob and I are not exactly sure how we want to share it, but we're very close to being able to share. And it'll make a whole lot more sense once we get through that. And then we're going to get more delayed because we're going to PAX this year, so we got stuff to do. Got a lot of prep to do for PAX, which I actually really like. It just takes us away from doing... Oh my god, please don't do that. Linear. Linear killed the radio star. Wait, why is that? Non-static on? Oh. So it doesn't equal linear, then we do that one. If it is linear, then we do our other. Go lurk, grind away, baby. Thanks for stopping in. I hope everything goes well. I still want to know how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. You smart people know how to do things. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me our Zulo. Don't show me. I know that you're married and stuff. Want to know what love is. Maybe Marcus can show me. Probably not. I think Marcus is probably asleep by now. Okay. So maybe what I could do, I wonder if I could can I trick this into putting all the methods in for me? So can I do execute linear walk and then pass all these values in? Which ones would I need? Motion, yeah. All those things would be needed. See those work. So what if what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Can I tell it to create an overload? I just want to update the method. I don't want to overload it. Can't I guess I could create overload and I'll just feel it. Look at that. It gave me all the things, but without naming them in any freaking logical way. Perfect. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Thank you for giving me these values in a way that doesn't make any sense. You could have just taken the names of the stupid methods and used the stupid names instead of, whatever it is you decided to do. Yolin method that has 10 parameters that would be giving yeah, I know, but I'm okay with it. I mean, I could do a configuration object and I could pass in that object. I guess that would make a tidbit of sense. Then I can have I can pass a DTO, right? Then I have to add overhead to transfer the values into the DTO and then pass the DTO. But it does have... I hate you, Yolan. Why do you do this to me? Okay. Fine. I'm gonna do it. I didn't want to do that, okay? No. Clean code is paramount. There's no way I'm going to write this now without doing it this way. Damn it. Okay. So what are we going to do here? We're going to make a DTO. I think what I could do is can I make a DTO out of this? I wonder if I could generate something with this. Well, I could pass itself in and just make all the values public. That makes total sense, right? Why would I need a DTO though? Let me think here. It's sort of a walk instruction set. No, you know what? I'm gonna do it my way. I just don't I don't know what context it'll make sense yet. I mean, I'm sure at some point it'll make sense, for sure. But the problem is also like the variability. So for instance, I'm passing in a target X and a target Y value. But I don't think I should do that. I think I should like have a point to life in general. I don't need this because we already know it's linear. I don't know what the Boolean is. Pass through events. Motion name, sure. Fixed direction, fine. I don't know if I can actually make that one work, but we'll see. Is player, will that matter? I guess it matters what character I'm using. Ignore height, abort on fail. Target ID, okay. Okay. Now we'll just steal from the bottom and shove it into the top. Isn't it great? Look, I removed some parameters. I made it more efficient. And I didn't even make it... Please forgive my swearing at you. I was just kidding. Sort of like that, sorry, not sorry. I don't mean any harm. I'm not trying to be an abuser. We don't need a pass and walk path because we know what it is. Okay. I removed one parameter. Okay. Technically, I could have written all that up there if I wanted to. Any hoozle. So we're going to do some runtime code because we're basically making an injected command for the Smile Game Builder script. Yes, I'm still locked into that land right now, but I'm okay with it. Okie doke. So let's see what garbage we actually need. We already know the point that we need to move into. This is doing like different. So I don't really want any of this garbage. Basically what I want to do is shove a waiter in here. Which is going to be like one of the Smile Game Builder waiter garbage things. Where have I seen a waiter? Check, please. Dialogue, maybe? No. How have I done waiters? That's no way to treat a waiter. Lopar, I get this little just happy joy to know you're there. We should do another one of those joint streams. Do you want to do a joint stream sometime, Lopar? But what we'll do is we'll do a stream where you're like my Lopar GPT and you'll just tell me what to code. That's it. And I'll just write exactly what you tell me to. Oh, here's how I did it. Okay. Now, I'm pretty certain I had a rule for what means it exits. Result is false, right? Is that how it exits? Do I need to fix books? Hold on a second. Before I forget. Publish, I guess. Do this. Where's my... Not a bug. Feature. Books. Prevent pressing right from closing the book. Only close the book. Actually, books. UI controls. Happy little ternaries. Like, oh, yeah, exactly. Prevent book from closing when you press the side or right arrow. Add UI prompts. People know what press yo. That should be easy too. And I think I can just tell it to add it to the sprint. I think OOP leads to unmanageable, unmaintainable, and unreadable code. What do you think, Botsy? I think developers lead to unmanageable, unmaintainable, and unreadable code. I think writing code does that. I don't think it matters what. I don't think it matters what paradigm you use. Developers create shitty code. I think only Sith deals. It's sort of like the quote from Steve Jobs when he talks about like the most bug-free, the cleanest, the best code a developer ever writes is the stuff they never have to write. You know, like basically saying that if you write code, it's going to be buggy and crappy and stuff. Right? So I don't care what your paradigm is, you're going to have problems. Boy. Why is it? We need a semicolon at the end? No. Runner, waiter. Oh, it's a return value. Okay. So I think for now, I'll just return. I never remember what is considered true or false here. You can write good OP and you can write bad fancy pants functional code. No, that's not totally true. You can't ever write good functional code, but you can write good OOP code. Functional code will always be bad. That's the point of it. Because it's like that badge of honor. It's like the people who drive the little beater cars that they can fix themselves. Like the car is just crap, right? No. Oh yeah, that's right. Technically still the truth. I was just baiting, to be clear. There's also aspect-oriented code, which is like halfway between functional and non-functional code. I guess if you go by the definitions, though, functional code is by definition functional, but it's not pretty. I see you take function over form. Okay. I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. Let me find out what they do in their waiter. Okay. If characters moving and camera rotate, then return true. If block count is greater than 0, where does it return true? So does it never return false? Boolean result. Why is there a result here? If result, then abort on fail. Oh, but they have this like, okay, wait, return. So there must be a return false. But this doesn't help me understand. I never remember their method. I'm dabbling with data oh yeah, we've talked about that. Or maybe I've talked about that with other people. And it feels cleaner. Give me an example of code that you feel is cleaner when you're working with your your Dodd. I want to know more. Owner is queued. Okay, so return false is the thing that tells it to stop, which means it can't continue. The return true would tell it to continue. Okay. So by default, we're going to return true, and then if we want to exit it, we'll return false. Okay. So then we will need. So what I'm going to actually do here is I'm going to totally cheat. This is where if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Am I right? Why is this not owner Yangle? Update pose angle. This dot owner Yangle. What's a Yangle? Here, I'll go get the answer to my question now. Come on, ChatGPT. Why don't you give me the Omni one? Can you give me some good examples? How fast it's going. What's the crazy idea? Dodd. I was thinking of you the other day, Sorrow. I was thinking about how you never answered my question, and I was sad. Because I really, 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 really wanted to know how you set up your animations for your battles. You never told me. Struct of arrays. Okay. AOS, array of structs. So there's an entity, that's a struct. And then we make an array of structs. Update entities X. Okay. This is sort of pukey, but all right. I could probably look it up myself, but I think someone told me you could make animations that are like, I guess you have variables. So like if you want to have an animation that targets a character and the character's variable where they can be. SOAs are pretty cool from purely nerdy standpoint. Very few people are working at the scale where they really benefit from them though. Position component. There's a position component. Operates array of positions. I think it would have run into a case like this that would make more sense in SaaS models. On mobile, but remind me next time. Okay, it's fine. Thanks for being on your mobile with me. I feel flattered that you want to listen in on mobile. I'm thinking about an example. I'm not a fast guy, but normally people start using Dodd. Split their code into entity component system. System does math, component just holds data. Yeah, so you're just talking about a fancy version of MVC. Got it. It's like MVC for data. You had to tune into Motzi any way I could. I'm going to pretend like I don't see kappa there, and I'm going to feel flattered. I'm not going to read into the kappa. Backhanded compliments make me feel happy for a second and then make me feel really sad. ECS is a fancy indirect for loop. I haven't messed with ECS, although Walliver said it worked pretty well for what he was trying to do. Kerr is going to be what, like the map character, I think. So I need to okay, before I ask ChatGPT, I need to do a little bit more setup. So Kerr is going to be a map character that I need to get. I think that's what. Oh, this dot followers. I think it is at least. No, it's a follower. Interesting. But I don't need that information, I don't think. I think I can just get the character. Because this is doing like Kerr dot map character. Okay. So I'm gonna remove Kerr and Kerr entirely. What's Bevy's? I don't know who Bevy is. Good friend of yours? And I kind of did ECS for when I was making the RPG Maker runtime, since it was easier to deal with information coming from... Yeah, I am noticing that there are some structures that I have learned how to do naturally that do help manage the separation of data from the execution of it. And I can see where I still have... Wow, why am my voice cracking a lot? I can see where I have this tendency to initially do things that tie the function of the code with the data too much. I always try to like extrapolate that. You know, separation of concerns, a really important object-oriented principle. Functional people would just make like a 500-line function, right? Okay, so I need to get the character. Hold on a second. What do we got to get here? So we have a target. The object is going to be whatever is in the runner. So we're going to do... actually, does it have something to like specify? Because I think I could specify who's doing the walking. Where do I do that? I think it is target ID actually. So 2 points. Try to parse. Yeah. Okay, so it is that target. We're going to use this nonsense here. Which is going to be in execute. I want that. So they make one line function that one line function is 5,000 characters long of indestructibly dense Haskell and weird ritual sacrifice symbols, and plenty of ternary operators. Plenty of ternary operators. Let's not forget those. Okay, so we're gonna get the target, source character, and then we'll say if source. Oh wait, no, it defaults already. I don't even need to do an else because it won't change it unless it exists. I don't think ternary operators are even your biggest concern in functional language, since they basically you're just dealing with n-ary operators. There. Trinary operators. So now we have source character. This is what we're going to use. So this is the thing we're going to make walk. So we'll have to get all the values for this. Now let's learn about, so dx and dy are the next x and y positional places that we're going. The map drawer is just useless. We just need it. So I'll get the scene information here. So it's not like I'm... Actually, I should also do this source character here. Oh, can I do that? I can't. Because... So I'd have to do this on every loop. Can I do that? I think what I could do is I'm gonna like turn this around. So what we'll do is we'll say var source character equals map character source character equals null. So this way I don't have to like keep searching for this on each loop. And then if it's not set, it'll become this. So at least I'm like minimizing the number of times I have to do logic in a loop. It's not needed. Hey, Laser, how are you? I think you were lurking earlier. I wish I had more time to play around with stuff like ECS and less to like try to find buried documentation in Streamlabs API for how to query their charity donations. Are you going to start streaming again? Or are you supporting streamers? What's going on here? I think most people don't realize that real engineering problems are way dumber. Yeah, don't tell people this. Don't tell them. Supporting, okay. Okay. So we have the character. What we need to do, if we have a point, so we have an x and y value that's set when we call this method, these values. I don't care about any of these other things. I just care about what the target is. So we have to have, so the end condition is if the target values are matched. Now they're going to be float values. Oh, do I have the int values? Oh, they're int values. Okay. So I will have to check if they are near the point, because I would be comparing a float with an int. I was for a bit. I ended up watching fireworks. Well, that sounds like a banger. What was I doing? I'm all right. Working on a portfolio for work. I like your potato. For web development? How good is your web potato? Actually, Potato was here earlier. Potato stopped in and asked about the game. And then wished me luck. Well, Potato 22. I don't know about Potato, just plain Potato. What was I doing? Pay attention. Matzi, what are you doing with your life? What is this? This is... I think I can just go to the definition. Yeah, it's a float. So I have to be able to compare a float to the integer target. And then what is next position? Next position is a log list. That doesn't matter. It's just going to be a log of this garbage here. So there's a direction vector, a radian, an XY, an X, a Z, and a diff. Okay. So I don't need all those things, but I do need to figure out how to replace what's available here. So first off, I need to get the current X and Y value. It's web dev and it's going pretty well. Is it all JSON? JSON. Is it all JavaScript, or are you using any other languages? I forget what you told me. I think it was probably all JavaScript, right? Okay. So I need to get X, Y, and I need to, so the target is always going to be these values, which I'm actually kind of okay with, really. So this is because I'm saying move the character to a point. And I actually really like the idea that even though it's moving in a linear fashion, it will go to an actual grid spot. JavaScript and CSS, I might add some PHP later, but probably not. Do you know what editor I use first for PHP? I will give total kudos. I'll give 1,000 points, because I think I can give points, right? I give 1,000 points to anyone who can guess the first editor I use for PHP. There's no way you're going to guess it, to be clear. But if you guess it, I'll give you 1,000 points. No, not Vim. I'm so anti-Vim. I guess that'd make sense, but no. If it helps, I was using a Mac. Matzi using Vim. So the X and Y values also need to have, I think I need a minus or, okay, hold on. Let me go look at how the map here. So I have to convert their grid value into a unity point. Do I have to? Do I? If I'm working with the same values, do I have to set their things to point? Current position, adjusted position. So adjusted position is going to be using these offsets. But X and Y values here, I think, are actually the Unity version. Because it has to be an imprecise point because it's float. It's used in a lot of places. No, I don't think I've ever mentioned the editor that I use for PHP. So the current position XY is here. They subtract the values. So if I'm going to compare, if I use their current position as the thing that I am checking, then I'm going to be comparing unity values as opposed to their whatever they use, right? Is that important? I could just try using their values first and then seeing what goofiness happens. I'm just not totally sure that these numbers match. So, okay, what we'll do is we'll use their numbers first. We're not going to do any conversions of value. All I'm going to do is I'm going to turn their ints into float. I actually turned it into a point so I can actually work with actual values. I don't think I need to worry about Y values. Do I? I might. Oh no. Do I need to worry about Y values? I'm not even sure. I mean, they don't use Y values here, so I probably don't. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay. So up here, we'll just make a point and say target point equal var. So we'll get the target X and target Y. So those are integers, but now we've turned them into float. And so what we need to do then is first determine if the current point is the same or near the target point. So current point equals new vector 2. Can't I just I don't really want the offset. I think I'm just gonna. I don't know what their offsets are, so we'll just do it this way and see what happens. So current point is going to equal the new vector 2, whatever. You can just tell me you give up. I'm pretty certain you're not going to guess it. XAMPP is not an editor. VS Code wasn't around. When I was your age, Laser, we didn't have the fancy VS Code. I used an app called Taco. I'm sure it doesn't exist anymore. There's an editor called Taco for doing PHP editing. I also used to use a tool called JEdit, which is sort of like the old version of Atom and other things like that. With Atom, then I think got bought by Microsoft and turned into VS Code. I'm not actually sure what happened there, but whatever, Atom is no longer a thing. Yeah, I think this is why I don't like NeoVim, by the way. I use a tool called JEdit that you could literally edit the editor with Java. It was really cool, and I thought it was great. And then it was too messy. And like NeoVim sounds just as bad as JEdit. Okay, so we have the target point, we have the current point. We're going to say if now this is an imprecise comparison, so I need to do something. Well, I'll leave it imprecise for now. And the reason is because since they're both float points, if I use something like move towards, it doesn't always get the exact number. So it would end up like the character will just never stop moving toward. It'll end up with an asymptote. So just the value gets infinitely closer, but never actually hits the exact number. So I'll have to turn it into a better calculation there. But I'm gonna see. Look, I didn't use ChatGPT. Who you calling asymptote? You're asymptote. Really awesome. So far. Taco looks cool. Is it still a thing? Really? Taco Trail? Taco software. It's an HTML edit. What? Really? Sorry, we're closed. Look at that UI. It's amazing. It doesn't. Yeah, I mean, Taco Software, they're closed. Went out of business. What's the software taco look like? What is taco software? That's a whole different thing. Not at all related to. More flowery than hardware taco. Flowery? I just found an Infinite Streamlabs login pop-up. That's cute. Okay, so if they don't match, then we're going to move it towards. So we'll say var next point equals. I don't know how much we want to move it towards, but we could do. Oh, we have to take into account like the speed of the character. How do they do that? Let me see. I don't think they deal with speed here. I might have to take into account the movement speed. Let me go look at the map engine, see how they do. Dot move. Huh. Or proc player for free move. How do they do it in here then? Because they have to figure out something about the movement speed. Where do they do the actual movement? Hero set direction from radian. Let me see, there's like a move? Or maybe it's walk. Oh, it is probably dot walk. Okay. Hero dot walk. So they figure out how they figure out the move speed. Move speed. If it's not an encounter, here's the move step. So here's their stupid move speed calculation. This is how they determine how fast it's gonna move. Jesus. Speed equals move step. Oh no, this is how they move. So where do they get move step from then? Move step is default speed. Oh, default speed is 0.1. So actually the 0.1 will work for my testing purposes. So I'm not going to worry about it yet. I'll just leave it at 0.1. Wherever I was. Here we are. So we'll leave it at 0.1. So we're just going to move towards. We're not going to do anything fancy. It's not going to be beautiful or lovely. It's just going to do something. Next point dot x and next point dot y. Change direction. I don't know why that even means anything. We do need to get the scene, so we'll do that too. Actually, I think we get runner.owner. I think I can use runner.owner. And okay, let's do this though. I don't want to keep grabbing this stupid values. So scene equals. Actually, it's not scene. It's going to be map scene owner, and then we have map engine. Okay. just so we sort of map it, so I don't have these like dot nonsense going on. So then we'll do map engine. Can I access it? Well, we can if we use the property, baby. We can. Then that make it public. Oh, map event height map. I call it map event height map, but whatever. Okay, so we're gonna, without doing any other settings, which I know I passed them, but I'm like, so set direction from radian. So now I need to get the next position's radian. I don't know how I'm gonna get that yet. Let me see here. Where does this get set from? Get directional radian. Okay. M directional radian. A flip. So it must be set. Well, I think it's just, I think the directional radian is just based upon the movement direction. Convert direction to radian, right? So it's getting so the direction here is going to be defined by set direction. Oh my God. Okay. Just want to see how they do it. Calc direction. This is how they calculate their direction. But I don't want this, I don't think. Do I? But how do they do it with the player? So with the player here, sure, rad. No. Your angle. Okay, so this is so this is what they do to get their rad, and then they convert it. They just use dx dy. But these values are from, it's more interesting than a Netflix. Is that a compliment? Do people like Netflix? With an arc tangent, prophecy foretold. I'll give you some arcs for my tangents. I'm all full of tangents in my streaming. Okay, so it gets its dicks and its dies from the DX. Sorry. From the character's movements based upon their current position. So it's just getting a fucking... it's just getting a diff. They did add Godzilla -1. Why is it -1? Did Godzilla lose somebody in their life? Cage. Woo! Oh, wait. I saw Cage, but you're not a raider. You're not the raider. You're a raider. Staff creates. Wait, what? Who's raiding? Cage is raiding. My God, what the hell? How is your stream? Do I have Splody on here? I don't know if I have Splody. If you give me the link to your Splody, I'll add it to my commands. It's a cage raid, baby. If you want to explode all over the stream, I'll make a command out of it. How are you? How was your stream? Was it explosive? I'm figuring out how to determine directional radian. Woo! I think the reason it's trying to get the direction is so that it can tell which direction to face the player. That's not until the second date. All right. I think both statements are no ops. You don't want to give me your splody? Okay, fine. I'll go look it up. Both statements are no ops? Well, I thought you were talking about the splodiness. Hey, good job on the very positive rating. That's hard to get. All the ratings. Thing plus other thing minus thing. Share. Up. Check. Oh my god. Check out Balloony. A valid cooldown must be specified? No, it mustn't. Thank you. I held a gun to all my friends. What? Tell me more about what that's like, having friends. What is your thing? Thing plus other thing minus thing. Well, that's also true. What the hell is it doing here? No, it's getting it from... It's adding move X to it, right? I don't know why they didn't just... I guess I kind of understand. So they're adding the move X and Y values, which are calculated based upon the directional control. All right, have a good foodness. Thanks for the raid. Go raid and run. This is not a no-op. Lopar. Move X and move Y are added to the X value and the Y value. They're not stored. So this is going to be the difference between the two values. Okay? Can you just chillax? So that would mean I could use the next position and the last position as a way to determine this. It's because of how Smile Game Builder works. Okay, let me show you why. Yolan, this is called the Motzi Makes docu-series on Alterium ship. Copyright 2024. To be delivered in full video in Netflix in 2025. So the way that Smile Game Builder looks at their maps is every position is an XY position. So if you're going to put something on a map, you're using a two-dimensional coordinate. Ah, but you ask, what about all the Ds? Because there's 3 of them. 3 Ds. Nuts. So the way it deals with height isn't based upon giving a spatial coordinate that says, here's the XYZ coordinate. Instead, it uses the X and Z coordinates in Unity's perspective, and then it figures out from the height map where the actual Y placement is supposed to be. You don't ever really set it by the Y. So I can place anybody anywhere, and it'll figure out based on terrain and objects where it should get placed. So the engine sort of handles that part. So when you see X and Y, part of the problem is that Unity's method of dealing with values, indeed, as well as, like, you know, a point is an XY value, but we have a Z value. Well, the X and Z are the horizontal planes, and Y is the vertical. So it's just like this freaking mishmash of the things. But anytime I see a Y value, it's typically actually a Z value. They just did weird stuff. I'm just trying to figure out a concrete scenario where X plus move X minus... Oh, I see what you're saying. I guess it might depend on the distance they moved, because it's concatenating the value, or it's truncating the value by turning it into an int. So I suppose if it transitions between two grid spaces based upon moving, and move x isn't an integer. So if x was like 1.9 and move x is 2 or is 0.3 or something. Yeah, move x is a velocity thing. If you're using a joystick, it would be a value between 0 and 1, I think. So there's like an inflection point in which it could transition from a 0 response to a 1 response. But it wouldn't do that if you just had move x. Because if this, like I said, if this is like 1.9 and this was 0.3, you'd end up with this value being greater than 2. And so if this value was 1, you get a different result than you would otherwise. Right? Math? That's how math works? Is that how math works? So that means, if I'm back here, and I need to get their dir rad, which is, let me see here. Let's get digital. Wanna get digital. So keeping in mind how they're effing with these values, I do see why. Is move x per frame? It is per frame too. Like move x, the proc player for free move happens every frame. Do you I don't know why. Listen, man. Now you have me just like questioning my life choices. So I guess this is all I need. I don't need to worry about how they calculated it. Screw that. All I need is the next point. Right? Because that's what this is. This is the next point. I'm totally not sure what it's doing here, but we'll just deal with it. This is where my lack of mathematical understanding. This is like, if you put me head to head with Walliver, there'd be no contest. He would crush my skull. And I think dir rad is the same thing as that, right? This is calculated. How does this get calculated? Do we just take the direction and we convert it to a directional radian, whatever that? I'm a little sweary tonight. Sorry. Moving half pixel can lead to trouble. All I understand is they want to avoid moving 0.5 pixel. Yeah, I don't. I was thinking about my learning style and dealing with these engines, and there's some points where I want to like dig in and learn every bit. There's other points where I just want to like, I just want it to do things. I don't want to think. Please stop making me think, Dad. Turn my brain off, please. Okay. So anyway, what was I doing? So dir radian, m directional radian. I keep forgetting how they set this. Set direction, get direction. That just returns the value. Update pause angle. Who cares about that stuff? Yeah. Okay. So I think it's just convert direction to radian is what I have to do. I don't fully understand any of this. At some point, you want it to work without braining it out. I mean, I almost did ask Copilot, but I realized that Copilot works better when you have some kind of context. Oh, what is this? That's not rad. This is the... Wait a minute. Now I lost track of what I was doing. So do I just take the... I'm really confused right now. I think that it's like a number. Like what it's trying to determine is what... I think it uses the direction to determine what the player animation direction should be. It's not determining the direction the character needs to move, because that's already determined. It's trying to figure out what animation direction to show, right? And so I guess direction, I guess I could do... Convert direction to rad. So I just need to get a direction, I think. So I don't know how I don't know what I think they might have to use digital direction though, right? This uses an integer. This becomes a... What does this return? A float? It must return a float, right? Oh, yeah, it's right there. It turns it into a float, but I wonder if I did that, would it just return? Nope, double. So I don't think I want... I think I need a digital direction, right? Dir vector, that's the actual direction. If dir is ordered clockwise or counterclockwise, I think you just need start angle plus equals dir 2 pi divided by 8. That sounds easy. Part of me is a little nervous about how they determine their directions. I have no idea which clockwise or counterclockwise. Yeah, right. I don't have any idea either. That's why I'm trying to like hunt it down. It's a fairly obnoxious. What I could try to get Copilot involved in this. Direction and then owner is going to be runner.owner.angle. Okay. Please look. Oh, actually, I'm gonna I don't want to confuse it because it'll probably look at like the two things I have here. I'll get rid of this whole method. We don't need this anymore. Gone. Come on, Copilot, you got this. Please look at my method. I borrowed logic from the map engine.follow engine in order to make a movement based on target direction. The waiter will loop until it has reached the destination and use move towards calculate the next position. However, because of the way this engine works, I need to calculate the dir rat and direction vector dirvec like it does in the follow engine. This direction seems primarily used for facing the character. Can you figure out the calculations I need to do to get these values based on the follower engine? I think it's like move followers for free movement. Yeah. That's follow engine. Let's see what it does. Yeah, they have a bunch of constants and they're numeric, and it's numeric. I think it's like right, left, up, down, or some bullshit. Hey, Herbal Cascade, thank you for the follow. I want to see if it figures it out from here. What was I doing? I want to go see. Okay, set direction from radian. Let's see here. I was going to find the numbers for you, basically. I was using degrees in this case. Up, left, down, right. Yeah. Let's get coding, baby. You like cascading style sheets? What's your name? How are you? Are you a developer? What do you develop? Tell me more. Do you have any projects? Game dev? Web dev? Do you get sassy? Application development? Do you like Java, PHP, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Docker containers, YAML, Python? I guess if you like YAML, you probably like Python. You don't have to answer all those questions. I remember in my early days of streaming, I would just like quiz people when they showed up, and they'd be like, "Whoa, not so. Hold on, back up. Not so many questions." Okay, let's see what this is saying. Sure, in the follower engine, they do this garbage. Yeah, but where does it get the direction radian? Let's see. So it does use ATAN. So it did find the ATAN thing. Okay, and it's just using this difference, the difference between the X and Y coordinates. So is it just updating my code for me? I do. Uh-oh, I didn't finish processing. Hey, where's the rest of my code? Come on. You didn't finish the code. Actually, this is enough of the code, though, right? Because it gave me up to the point I needed. Let's see if we can do this. Let's see if it'll work. It's a pure name generator. I'm currently learning C++. Nice. That's even more intense. What do Python and YAML have in common? Indentation? Yeah, their structure is dependent upon indentation. I think YAML is tab delimited or whatever. How do you not know this, Lopar? I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, and there's nothing you can say that will make me less disappointed. Well, that's one way to make a sweeping comparison. Hey, there's a little sweeping icon I just saw while you said that. I don't know what it's using for the target. And I don't think it's a vector 3. It's the problem is it's not a vector 3. This is a Microsoft vector 3. Right? So the declaration. Yeah, it's a Microsoft framework vector 3. So that's super annoying. I guess what I could do is like just I'm surprised it let me use the internal call. Set current direction. We'll use a Unity. No, wait. What is this? No. I don't want system numerics. What? Where's the Unity one? Well, does it not have the Unity one available? Pretty sure that's the type of vector I have, right? What's your vector, Victor? Roger, Roger. Yeah, it's the core module. So, I could do. I just like. You know what? Forward this. Line. Oh God, no. Right. I don't know if I use any other vector 3s, but I really don't want to use their stupid vector 3. So I'll go up here and just make still whatever they have for their garbage. I'm good at making sweeping comparisons, but I do it all for the Nookie. We'll just call it a vector 3 XNA. That's clear, right? I do it all for the Nookie. Taking notes. So we're gonna do our favorite, use a var. Then we don't have to deal with it. Is that really what it does though? Yeah, just use the same thing. Okay. So, we could see if it works. This format. I think it's going to work the first time. Not a single problem. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be the best ever. This is going to make all other code pee its pants. Oh wait, I gotta make the waiter stop. So if it doesn't equal else, I think we have to do though, like this has to be somewhat more precise. Does move towards ever? Hold on. I don't know if move towards will exactly match. Will move towards ensure that eventually the current position matches target, or do I need my logic or to be? I might have to use some tolerance here. I'm not sure how I feel about tolerance in the context of conditional statements with floats, because I don't like to deal with the variability of it. However, due to floating point precision issues, yeah, so I figured that there would be some tolerance issues there. It's possible there would not need to be, this sort of check, but if we're within 2 Fs, I think it'll be fine. Wait, if it's greater than 2F, yeah, right? That'll be the tolerance check. Okay. Let's go build. And then once it's built, we'll find a place to shove it in, baby. I was diagnosed with onomatopoeia recently. I asked my doctor, is that bad? He said it's exactly how it sounds like. I don't think the like was needed at the end. I think it could have been, it is exactly how it sounds. Uh-oh. Forgot to get rid of that garbage. I don't think I need anything else. Just for fun, is there a way to know how many C# classes there are in their project? Probably. Can I get... You can get a count. Find usages. Oh. Really? That would work? So that would be... I guess I could look for the word class. That's a silly way to do it. But where's the count? No, it's not going to find all the classes that way. We do a file mask. Find all. I think it's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to search all of this. No, that's not going to work. I did not mean to do that. Did I just open another? Not seeing any errors. Count result. Manually count. Use a plugin or script. That's stupid. I guess it's a lot of work, but it already has to parse everything. I don't understand why it wouldn't know how to do that. It's like... I'm going to do something that won't work, but will be funny. How many classes do I have in the entirety of my... There's a portion of my work that I manage. Okay, so I could open up every file in a tab. I could count the files in a directory on the file system. Okay, what is it doing? All right, so let's go and look at something I've been working on. We're going to go to the forest waterfall. Whew. I'm redoing this section. It used to be written almost all in code. I've converted most of it to nodes. I still have some bugs here, but I have a section where there's a lot of walking that happens. So we can try it out and see if we can make the character walk. So where do we have? I have a couple places where the character walks to a point. So let's see how badly we can break this. So that's to actor. I don't care about that. Where's 2 point? I thought I had a 2 point spot. The very end? That's too much for me. Maybe what I'll do is just start at the beginning of this. Incidentally, one of the really fun parts that I've introduced recently is the followers can be moved now. Do this right here, which is kind of cool. a very moving experience. See how badly I can break this though. Okay, so we're gonna go 2 points. And where should I make a move? So usually it'll have like he'll be right here. So I could do like maybe I'll make him walk down at an angle. It'll be hard to see if I do it that way, but make him walk here. And that is 35, 35. Currently the only way I can just check this. So 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35. And then I'll make him walk to another point to maybe prove if it works or not. I'm expecting this to fail horribly. And I'm here for it. 29, 29. Wow, how do I keep finding the like same numbers? Pretty good at that. Like a skill. Okay, so let's see what happens. The most likely thing that'll happen is hilarity will ensue. All right. Let's see. Are we ready for this? Let me just get the the debug window open. Oh yeah, look how amazing that worked. Look how cool that is. It's like exactly what I was hoping for. He moved. It went perfectly. So not so effective. I have these default linter settings on something and they're just incredibly pedantic for the wrong reasons. I imagine it'd be like getting a code review from Motzi. Oh yeah? Give me an example. Just tell me. I'll prove you wrong. Give me an example of the pedantic linter change that you're like, that's exactly like Motzi. Okay, so we added runtime code. We know it broke, so that's good. The problem right now is that I'm using a follower. I'm not totally sure this code would work with a follower. Let me see. It's not about... Okay, so I can get followers from here. I should be able to get the follower. I'm going to debug it because it'll be better for me to just see what's happening with the code. Okay, it's JavaScript and they only allow double quotes for strings. They require parentheses around single arguments. Well, you mean like how they would require parentheses around the runner here? I would just go with whatever the standard is in that case. I thought JavaScript allowed single quotes around strings. Or in your case, the linter requires double quotes. You know what's funny? What's fun? JavaScript does not require double quotes, but I think your linter must. There is a clean. Well, I don't know if you're using IntelliJ, but IntelliJ, there's a cleanup method that's more than just the formatter that will fix that kind of crap. It'll just be like, boom, all your single quotes are now double quotes, and all of your whatevers are whatever. Like it would put all the parentheses around these things and stuff. Just saying. IntelliJ does that. That's what I do. I didn't want to go change all of my static declarations of var declarations, so I just run the cleanup. It takes slightly longer to run, but boy, is it nice if you use IntelliJ product or JetBrains product. Very wise, but the formatter set up on VS Code right now literally introduces violations. Change the formatter. Can't you change the formatter rules? Maybe it's time for you to switch to JetBrains toolsets. Instead of complaining about the linter, maybe you should complain about your decisions about what IDE you're using. Did you think about that, Lopar? There you go. So just use JetBrains. You have an ultimate subscription. I don't know if there's some things that JetBrains doesn't clean up, but it does a lot. I mean, I think you could make it follow your linter rules. Are these like work-based linter rules or just rules that you decided you wanted in your life? You're like, I want my life to be difficult, so I'm going to create linter rules I don't like. And I'll go from there. If only my life could have more rules to it. That's what I think would be fun. That's the problem is like the I know this is not the right context, but it feels like it. The emotional labor required to go and change your rules. And then you get on a different project and they have different rules, or you upgrade your IDE and for some reason your rules don't transfer over and now all of a sudden you don't have them. Or in my case, I had all these rules set up that I'd gone through and like meticulously done, and then I fixed a problem with my IDE to sync my settings and my rules went away. And it's just like, oh good, you want to sync your settings? I'll start you from the beginning. No. I spent so much time on those. Stupid rules. I'm more like the college kids in that experiment where they wanted to see if, you know, if presented with something annoying long enough without the ability to change it, would they keep trying to stop it? Like, it was this experiment where they had to get up and push a button to stop a noise. But when they made that work intermittently, they just stopped. They just like, I don't care anymore. And they would just get used to the noise. And I feel like that's where I've gotten. Like, when Wallaber was started using Writer, he's like, oh, I hate all these little rules, like the squiggles. And so he went and like hunted them down and turned them off. And I'm just like, yeah, I just learned how to not look at it. I get like blind to it. Who cares? You know? Not worth it. Okay. So, get map char. Runtime code runner. Target ID. Character. We have a character. Cool. We have liftoff. Perfect. So target point equals target X, target Y. So now it's a point, 35, 35. We got the map scene. We drop into the waiter. Check please. Result starts by true. Source character equals null. It doesn't. Current point equals source character X and Y, which is so their X and Y are 0.5s. That might actually be the unity point. That still shouldn't matter. Like, you should still see the character wandering around on the screen. If the distance between the two is greater than 0.2, then we drop in here. Next point, if we're moving towards a point, is going to be some very small number. Our dix is going to be 0.9. Direction radian is going to end up being... This is stuff that ChatGPT did. Direction vector. I don't think the direction radian is right. I think it has to be with a float. I mean, it's getting the values. I guess we'll see what it does. Next point X, next point Y. It should, in theory, it should be working. Yangle. The Yangle might be a problem. I'm gonna see if they do anything with Yangles. I want to see what set direction from radian does. We want to walk it to the next point. Event height map, ignore height, that's fine. They want to force it, sure, that's fine too. It could be that the character's moving, but their animation disappears. What is our target? X, Y, -0. Z, okay. Direction is 1. So I don't know. One thing is I don't think it's ever hitting. It's never hitting the break point because it's sitting there forever processing. So result equals true. How does result equal false? Oh, because it just defaults to false. Okay. Wait a minute. What? Hold on a second. This is the source character. Their X value is now 51, and their Z value is 59. What? I don't think. What? They went really far. Current point, target point. I don't think they're going to get closer to it. Feels like they're going to keep getting farther away. Let's see what their points are now. 59. Doesn't really feel like it's a move towardy sort of thing. It's more like a move away sort of thing. 59. It just keeps getting infinitely closer to the point that's not where we're trying to go. Oh, help. I've been thinking about game dev for a bit. And, well, kind of scared of having this to contend with. Having what I'm doing to contend with? Or game dev in general? Or what specifically? Problems? Debugging? All of the above? None of the above? Vectors? Vector math? I want to scratch my back with my shirt. Good. I feel the same way. Yes to all of the above. Correct. Do you have development experience? Do you know how to do coding in the general terms? What is your level of coding capability? Because I'll tell you what, I've been developing code for years, professionally for like 18 years, and it's still hard to do game dev. Yes, in general, but mostly debugging and program stuff since I have my friends assess me. Yeah. How can I help you? Tell me more about help. A lot of debugging is just learning how to read what you're seeing. So this is garbage. So this thing is not doing what I want it to do. But I think it has to be, it must be this that's causing the problem. This next point. Like, logically solving problems is just what you get to learn with programming, game dev. If you're going to do the development part, it doesn't matter what programming language you're using. At least I have a debugger. I mean, sometimes you don't even have that. Sometimes testing is like, can I output a value somewhere so I can see what it is? And then like guess what the answer is going to be. So what I was going to do is see where the number gets really up. Turn the debugger back on. Damn it. Speaking of annoyances. You know, a lot of programming is just being willing to deal with doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. It's like, how much of programming is actually writing code and solving problems versus changing a value and testing it and changing a value? The Toby Fox way is definitely fine. It worked. I mean, that goes back to a different maxim, though, and I think more likely to occur in game dev, but I've seen it in other industries, is shipping the product is more important than the perfection of the code, right? As long as the code works and you're able to get it to work, getting the product shipped is more valuable. If Toby worried about the level of their knowledge and coding or their ability to write code at like a higher software engineering level, they probably never launched the game. By that I mean have a code change, a code to change a variable, write more code to check it, write more code to change it. Yeah, right. I mean, I've heard Toby Fox had like just a whole list of if-else statements in some cases, right? And if that, you know, whatever works to get the shippable product. I was just talking about like, it doesn't really matter as long as you can get it to work and you're willing to maintain it or not. I mean, go make millions of dollars and then pay someone else to maintain it. I don't know. Okay, so let's go back to this. So we start with current point is 26 and 32. Target point is 32 and 35 and 35. We're trying to get ourselves to that point. What do we get as the next point here? Next point is, okay, so those are potentially legitimate values. They're going, you know, a small movement, but it's a frame. So I can't believe you're here. Did you know that I am subbed to your channel because somebody gave me a gift sub? How are you, Icon? It is Saturday for a little bit longer. Then tomorrow it's gonna be Sunday. And I'm gonna sleep in, baby. Directional radian. Okay. Okay, so I want to see how this walk method does. Countermeasures when large values entered countermeasures. If that or that, then we do something else. Apparently a large value was entered. This is the countermeasure to a large value coming in. Because why? The absolute value of X and the absolute value of Z is greater than the body size? Oh, wait a minute. That's not what I wanted to do. I needed to give it the X and Y values. That's the problem. Why am I even using next point? Right, that makes sense. So of course it's gonna get like exploded. Anyway, Icon, I hope you're up to fun stuff. Ace GM, I don't know if I answered any of your questions. The only thing that I've ever said to people is anything that you do is going to be challenging. Anything. Unless you are natural at something, anything that you pick up is going to be difficult sometimes. And you just got to do, right? Like, I'm scared to do it. Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to be scared. You just have to do. And I guess that's the one problem I always had was I'd struggle between my willingness to put in the effort to try on something and my desire to have it just work the first time. I don't want to have to learn all these things just to do this one thing. But it also turned out that the only way I was going to ever get something done is by doing it. So let's see here. Imagine the process of coding and how difficult it is to think through problems when you're like in your own headspace. And then imagine doing that in front of people. The streaming, like the whole like streaming and coding thing has always been difficult for me. I know it's not easy for other people too, but like I watch other coder streamers. Oh. I mean, he's still moving. Where'd he go? Where's that little bugger at? Did he go through the wall? What happened to him? Where'd he go? Oh, he's hiding. He's just there. There he is. Crap, do I got to put this on paper? I mean, I used to work in an era where people would do code reviews by printing out the code. So, my gosh, when that was presented to me as a way, I was just like, no. Okay, so apparently it blasted past its tolerance. He also moved really fast, which means my move command is too fast. So let's see if we can do like, let's delta it by 0.5 and see if we can make a move slow. It also must mean that this tolerance needs to be higher, so we can get closer to the point. I also worked with somebody once who talked about how the perfection of code necessary for writing punch cards made him a good programmer, but I don't think that was good. At least that's how I think about it sometimes. You get every action process thing that sends a signal, and you draw a bunch of arrows. I try that. I think it so like, I think it helps to have a taco, but that's not what I'm talking about. And I've been trying to do this more on stream is before I write code, I start trying to think through either in words or pictures what I'm trying. I'm not really good at diagramming until I know. I was telling someone about Taco Edit, or it was a HTML PHP editor that I liked. It was when I first learned PHP back in the day. 2004, I think. I want to say 2004. Way back in the day. But speaking of being like Ace, by the way, when you talk about being scared to learn, I still really haven't learned. I learned C++ on the intellectual level. Like I understand it because I understand code now. I don't use C++. Have barely used C. I was terrified of learning C++. I tried. I really wanted to learn it, but it was so scary, all the stuff I had to learn. He just like... I love that he just does this slide. Okay. So what could be happening here? Something can be happening for sure. You know what also scary, Ace? Streaming and not solving problems while people are watching it. And being like, oh, people are gonna be so bored and they're gonna leave. Is my tolerance not high enough? What part of a language with a Turing-complete template metaprogramming language inside it do you find scary? What part of a language with a Turing-complete template? What are you talking about? Are you talking about ChatGPT? I could try to be even more forceful here. Oh, I don't know. The part that I was scared about with C++ was all the syntax and remembering all the pieces. Again, keeping in mind, when I started programming, I was a teenager. And I was using something called HyperCard, but there was no autocomplete. Autocomplete did not exist. It's a Katamari ball of languages. So autocomplete didn't exist. I got this giant book about how to learn C++ where the author was talking about watches and was trying to talk about what an object was. Like, I didn't even understand how code worked. And she's talking about object-oriented programming and like, oh, I have to know what object-oriented programming is. What does it mean when you're talking about a watch? And one of my problems as a kid and a teenager is I always believed there was more to what I was seeing than the obvious. How about poop? Poor object-oriented programming? Oh, profound. So, do you know, like, how do I say this? I don't know if it was like a measure of my self-esteem or a problem with, like, I do think I was a little ASD, or I am a little ASD, like my way of interpreting the world. But I always assumed that there was deep meaning behind every single thing. So when it came to like homework assignments where someone's like, oh, come up with slogans for this thing of this book you're reading, and, you know, imagine you're making slogans for a thing. And like other people just freaking do it. They just, here, I'm going to be creative. And I was like, okay, I have to come up with the perfect creative slogan that really would pop and fits all these scopes and models of what you should do. And like, and so when it came to programming, it was even worse because I assumed there was so much more complexity in it than there actually is. It's complex, but it's like, just learn how the syntax works. And like a curly brace doesn't have as much importance other than blocking the code. Like I have had to spend my life learning how to simplify things because I immediately thought everything was deeper than it really was. Just absurdly deeper. Object-oriented programming is not inherently a hard concept. It's just when you think everything has like layers, when they don't, you're like, oh, well, it must be harder than it is. So it can't just be that answer. It can't just be simple. I still remember there was one girl in my class who did an art project, and it was like a blue something, and she called it Blue on Black. And it's from the song, I can't remember the artist, but I thought it was way deeper than that. But it was literally like she took the term blue on black and then drew a picture on it. This is how like my brain worked. They had you build a robot dog out of classes. Well, for my for one of my programming classes, I think it was like a design class. At the end, we had to make a project. So we were going to make Monopoly. And I was pretty proud of our group. We made the engine, and we didn't make the UI. So we focus purely on the mechanics of the game and assume that, okay, if we're going to make a UI, someone can make a UI out of this. But we're going to first focus on just the components of like rolling the dice and then moving and getting a card and all that stuff. It was my first jaunt into the idea that you don't have to make the visuals first. I do kind of like that he just slides. Okay, so I believe that part of the problem is that difference of the number. So he's never going to hit the number because the target point's 35 and he's at 34. So he just slid right past it. And it's because the numbers have a 0.5 numerical value. So what I could do is, I think I do minus 0.5. I think. I can't remember how they do this. Let me see. Or wait. Did I already do it here? This is how I do it. Oh, okay. So I can actually just use the current position. So that's what I'll do. Source character dot. We'll try that. So I must have done this to get like the map position. Is this part? Imagine if you could like be running code and then make a change and it'll just implement. I once had a character where when you moved right for a certain distance, he went through every single sprite, and I had over and over until you went over and over until it restarted. Scrapped the idea, spent no time on it. Ideas are cheap. So you went right for a certain distance, he went through every single sprite I had. So it would like rotate the sprites, basically. The interesting idea. Is it like, and they're like different character sprites or something? They're just like flashing up different graphics. I mean, it's always fun to play around with ideas. I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay, let's see if we can un-Kramerify Dolian. Because right now he's doing the Kramer effect, just sliding in. Went through jumping sprites, shooting sprites, and he would end and just do it all over again. Something about the way your sprite indexes were managed. Sad. It's weird that it doesn't like try to loop back and get back to the point. So now the number's larger, actually. So this one's getting infinitely closer to 35, and this one not even. What am I using for the original number? Well, the target point. Okay, so the other thing is I should probably add 0.5. I don't think I can do that because I can. So it just converts it into an int for that. What is that about? Why is there a breakpoint in the middle of the code? This is not the way to test this properly, but I'm just curious if I can get it to stop moving in one direction. I thought I did something where I just. Oh, hold on. Is player. I think there's an execute here. Oh, so wait, the X versus the Z value. We add to the Z value, we subtract from the X value. How do we do that? This is what I did when I was converting points for checking if the player was within. I think it's using these half points. So it probably would be that this would be minus and that would be plus. I know. This is the first step in my long-term goals of making Jacob really mad at me. I love it when I get long hairs in my clothing from probably my wife's hair. I'll put it over in her desk area. She can have that hair. It's all hers. I give it back. I don't need it. I clearly don't need it. Or maybe I do need it. Get hair plugs. This isn't like hung up on running the reload. Sure, blame Composy, but we've never seen the back of your head. Here. Now you have. Deep fake your face. For a second I thought you said hi icon. I was like, why are you saying hi? You already said hi. But now I understand. Okay, let's see if we can get our lineage lining in a linear way. I'm kind of excited. I'm excited that I got the character to move. The character is not playing emotion though. I gotta figure that one out too. I think it's because the follower engine doesn't actually play the motions for the character. So I'll just have to introduce the thing that makes the motion play. So funny. I love that he just like slides over there and doesn't do anything after. Let's see where it ends up. Let's see what it's getting stuck on. I am stuck on numbers because numbers stuck on me. So now we have 34.5 and 35.5, and we're ending up at 34.49 and okay, hold on. Hold on, we're almost there. We can do this. So if I don't wait a minute. So this isn't, does this not matter? When I was using these values, I'm like chasing my tail on this, which means there's some other calculation that's wrong. Yes, I just used chasing my tail. I don't have a tail. It made me think of that movie. I don't remember the name of the movie with like Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow. Poop jokes are my favorite kind of joke. Hey, very topical, but they are a solid number 2. Speaking of C++, I remember reading something way back in the day, this article that was saying that C++ was written by the developer that made it was doing it as a joke, and people liked it too much, so then they intentionally made it slower and less efficient, like, and people still liked it, and they was like trying to make it, you know, the worst compiler language ever. I don't know if that's true or not. Do you know back in the day people had to pay for compilers? Man, those were the bad old days. You had to buy something to compile your code. And usually it involved the editor as well. So like, here's the editor, now compile your code. Well, I mean, it was, early days of the internet. But I don't even think there were search engines. I think there were search engines. Oh, yeah. Some weird little hitch where it goes back and forth between maps. Oh, Kramer. So if the problem is consistent, it'll mean that this is going to be off by like a 0.5 or something. 34.5 and 35.5. 34 point. Okay. So, actually, I'm going to chase this value all the way around, and then I'm going to get it working for this use case, and then it won't work for any other one. I don't care. I just want to see it go. Doop, doop. That's it. That's all I want. Is that too much to ask? No. To that I say no. Incidentally, let's start talking about battle system. I'm also going to go into where was my? I thought I made a comment in this document. Okay, actually, let's do a new. I'm not gonna worry about this document yet. Come on, we got this page. Monster behaviors. Got published? We'll wait for that to publish. I want to start putting some thoughts down on how the battle system is going to work. And since Jacob never watches my streams, he doesn't get to hear what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to try really hard to make on-map battles. And if I were to tell him, he would hate it. Because he gets really nervous about timing. And, oh, we can't be adding all the scopes. Like, but we always wanted on-map battle. He still slides down to first. Interesting. Target point 34, 35. Yeah. Oh, wait. I was looking at the target point and not this one. So I don't want to add a 1 to it. I just want it to match. I just want to get them there. Let's just make them match, shall we? Hey. Yeah, so basically what I've decided to do is I'm going to try it, and if I can get it to work, then we'll do it. I mean, if it's going to be incredibly difficult, I might shy away from it, but I just think it would be so much better. I want on-map battles. It'll be our little secret. Summary. Title. It says it all. The goal is to see if we can get either a new or modified battle system that can take place directly on the current map rather than in a screen transition. This has an upside, saving on memory. Move battle maps. Yay! Okay. Me typey. Oops. Let's see. Let's try this. Will it blend? That is the question. I have an idea on how on-map battles might work, but I think that I agree with the notion that we can't add scope such that we would have any directional battles. I don't think we don't have the resources to do all the animations in every direction, unless we somehow find an enterprising artist that matches our style, willing to, do all of the work. I'm stuck at the end. But I think we could still do like the battle angle that we currently use. We could keep that so like sideways, or we can keep the characters only facing left and right, and then just move the camera as necessary. It's not like it doesn't have to be a complete shift on what it's supposed to look like. Oh wait, at this point the Y value is a whole 539 versus 35. So why would the Y value of its target be so bad? It means it's not pointing it in the right direction, right? It's the okay. So what I'm gonna do, stop that. I don't know how the math is supposed to work here. This is where I hate doing math and vector math. Method, but I'm encountering an issue. X value, no, the Y value. Can't seem to sort out why. Can figure this out. For context, the target point is 35, and when the character stops moving, they are at about 34.999 and 39.999. Let's see what it says. Come on, solve my problems for me. Don't make me think. From the code, it seems the issue might be the Y it being... Yeah, that's what I said. Thank you for repeating it. I don't care about... The Y value is the Z value. No, it's not. That's not why it's causing the problem. You're dumb. Don't be dumb, please. All right, should be clear. Even though it ends up being translated to the coordinates, the only reason it's called Y is because we're using we are only looking at because the system let's see if I can figure this out. There might be an offset applied. That is true. I don't remember if we have an offset value. Why would there be an offset? Offset. I don't think the offset will be set. I can check just to be sure. But why would it have an offset? There's no reason it should have an offset. I don't know why they use their offset. Okay, let's just find out if this character has an offset. Source character. Let's do the alphabet game. No, there are no offsets. All right. What else is it saying here? I don't want to tolerate it by 5. That's a bit much. The character's initial position may not be exactly the origin, causing the final position to be off. There's no scaling factor. So it could. Let me go look at the move method. Something in this must be messing with it. That's what. Come on. There you go. So move X and move Z. Oh, interesting. So we're still getting that like big number. Oh, no, we're not. Not big enough. Change direction. We don't care about that. So direction. So it's already doing the direction. What the flip? I can't help but feel like it has to do with this. So body distance, is that what it is? Body double? New X, new Y, oh, new Z. Oh, that's interesting. So it's turning them into integers. This is trying to check 25.5. It's like checking the half point. Right, because it's trying to check collisions. That's why. So it's just, I think what it's checking is if it's gotten out into a point where it needs to confirm collision, which probably goes back to that half point checking that it was doing earlier. So not invalid. It's good. Good. This dot x equals move x. This well, plus equals. So now we've added. So I think what's happening is it's missing the point. You're missing the point. It's not getting to the freaking point is the problem. This Y value is not growing fast enough. No, the X value is not. So it's. I gotta do this. We're still moving it. So I think it has something to do with this, like how it's determining. The direction. What is this considering? Let me see. Put down to the bottom of this. This is what is going to. These are the move values. So it's adding it directly to the X and Y value, X and Z value. Okay. So the X value and the Z value get updated. Okay. So I shouldn't be messing with what those numbers are, first off. Because this does adjustment to those. So one of the problems is it might be okay that I'm messing with those numbers, but I shouldn't be messing with this number. First off. Hey, Trixie. I didn't know I was your guy, but thank you. Yes, I did.
Marcus. You know I want to be a rock star. There's too many rock stars in the world, but only one of you, Marcus.
Good old Marcus. Marcus was here tonight. No, I think he's gone now. Probably asleep. How was IDGA, Trixie? Did you get IDGA'd? Did you have fun? Was it a testing event? What happened? Tell me everything. Start from the beginning. Just go like back to childhood and then tell me from there. Earliest memory. I got time. I'm just working on. IDGA was fantastic. Oh, okay. How many people showed up? How many people regularly show up to that? Tell us, hey, Pixel. Tell us everything. Well, when a man and a woman really love each other, that's very gendered of you. Are you talking about male presenting and female presenting? My daughter's really good at that stuff. She's like good at calling out gender assumptions. There were a solid 30-ish people at your birth or in your conception. So like when a bunch of different people love each other. So do you know who your parents are? Oh, IDGA. Oh, of course. That's what you meant. Of course. I mean, you know, back in that day, though, people were a little bit more free with themselves. Just saying, key parties were a thing. It took a dark turn. How can love be so dark? That's just expected. 30 people is a good size. My favorite thing, though, is intentional misunderstanding, because you can do so much with it. When a person... Oh, my. That's not love. That's just a human. We're okay. Everything. This is on me. Like I tell my son, you make your own choices. I didn't make you say what you said. You chose to say what you said. And that was your choice. Cannot be held responsible for the choices that you decide to make. Oh, wait. Are you saying that's what your dad said? Or mom? What button? No, there's nothing. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with what was said. You don't have to ban it or get rid of it, Laser Burn, if that's what you're saying. It's fine. Genitalia is not a bad word. Yeah, when you start to get in your 40s and you've been vasectomied, sometimes. Ban Mozzie button. I've been looking for that for a while. There's a reverse ban Mozzie button when you ban yourself. Wait. Oh, target. Yeah, so it's off by 5.5. Which I think means it's possibly the radian issue. Like maybe it's something with... Oh, come back here. Bugging through the code. Here are some notes. 1. Oops. Can I not do that? 1. There are no offsets being applied. 2. Whatever we pass by just gets added to the source character. Three. I suspect it's that we're not properly calculating the direction. Off by 5.5 or a factor? No, off by literally 5.5. Anyways, I had a great time. Some really good board games and video games. I highly recommend it. Okay, fine. When's their next one? Because I am on the IDJ Discord. Because there's a huge difference, Monty. IDJ is fun. We have a group here that meets once a month. You've got to wait. Oh, in Canada. Why don't you come down to Minnesota and come to the IDJ one here? The direction seems to be correct. However, the issue might relate to how you're using it. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm not going to say that. Well, you provided me that code. So this is on you. Very good customer service. I apologize if there was some confusion with the code I wrote for you that you didn't bother reading. Is a monthly thing? I didn't know there was one in Minneapolis. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Is it Minneapolis? Probably Minneapolis. No one does crap in St. Paul. I don't trust artists. They're always so sketchy. The COVID-19 situation has been especially stressful in Flat Earth Society. They fear that social distancing measures could push people over the edge. I I don't know where. Yeah, probably Minneapolis. I'm not good at going to those sort of things. I would partially claim it's lack of interest, but also having to be around people. Being an introvert might have something to do with it. I don't want to go anywhere anytime. The playtest is the third Wednesday of every month, so my understanding is going to be July 17th. I won't be in town that week. Jesus, I can't believe how stupid I was with this. All right, we got this. Let's go, Kramer. You got this. It flipping works. I can't believe how much time I spent on that. And I apologize profusely. What is it? Where's the one that gets called? I know how to find it. And then we have to say in the walk command, I think we do walk by default. So what I could do is in this part, if motion, if string to be determined gamer, TBD, unless it stands for something else like totally badass developer gamer. What the flux? You're here? How was your stream, TBD? Welcome in the big, you fill in the blank, the big donkey face. How was your stream? I'm happy about something that's working now, so I'm being really snarky. TBD gamer, how are ya? It was a good stream, not my normal time, but some friends stopped by. That's good. TBD has Dash, I think. Oh, okay. Well, go Dash. If there's something about your work that someone else can share, they should share it. Amazing streams. Amazing streams. How cool they are. And here is code you wrote. Hey, you use JetBrains. Wait, what are you doing though? That's not Writer. You're doing I mean, it's a JetBrains product. I don't know what the blue is. Python? Is that Python? Oh, there's Writer. Ride or die. It's all C#. Okay. Thanks for the lurk. Thanks for the work. Ooh, I'm all about that. Those DSs. What about if they do distributed systems in a linear way? Then you'd have some DSLs. Of course, I don't know if that makes any sense. Linear distributed systems? They all go in one straight line. Kind of like Dolian, baby, because now we're actually doing the calculation correctly. Okay. We're okay. He's also not facing the right direction, incidentally. Oh, I forgot to update the motion. I got the motion, but I never updated the motion. So it's kind of hard to do that. How does update motion work here? Play motion. Okay. I'm so excited. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This doesn't make any sense, but we're gonna do it anyway. Um Here. Motion. Motion. Okay, here we go. It's gonna happen. It's gonna do it. This is gonna work. It's gonna be so amazing. Something that you need, like the first thing you learn when you're trying to make something do things is how to move it from one point to the next. It's like Unity 101. And it's probably one of the simplest things that you could possibly do in Unity. Here's an object. Translate its position to a new location. Do it over time using move towards or lerp or some crap. And I'm having to like write all this shit just to make that do it. I've gotten very sweary tonight. I apologize. I blame the White Claw. We got dinner and we like ordered it because it was just we're in the process of like cleaning out our basement and then our garage because all the basement stuff went into the garage. And we ordered dinner. I was like, oh look, they have like White Claw and all this other stuff. I've never had a White Claw. We should try it. The length of time that Unity has been taking to build recently has been a biatch. Yes, well in this case also with the debugger on and me streaming, it's slower. Definitely been getting slower. Oh, bro! White Claws! I mean, I had one. What happened was it made me really tired before I streamed. And then I had this. Speaking of claws, I had a monster. But it's a 12-ounce monster. So it doesn't have as much caffeine as a big monster. See, I'm cutting back. I'm making good, healthy choices for my life. By reducing the amount of energy drink intake. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get smaller cans of Monster. That's a white girl's drink that really suits me. Well, apparently there's a white guy here that had it too. I don't think it really suits me though. I don't really like to drink, to be honest. Neither does my wife. I actually drink more of it than my wife. That she drank it and she's like, oh, it tastes really good. She took like a sip or two and then she didn't drink anymore. Y'all, listen. We now have purely directional movement as a possibility. I can move characters in a direction. Yep, only 100 calories. I like the hard lemonade ones though. Like I like Mike's hard lemonade. Or there was another one that's like a White Claw, but it's not, that I had once that I actually really like. What is it called? I'm gonna look it up separately. Drink that's like a White Claw, but sweeter. High Noon. They're called High Noons. Don't drink, kids. Bad for you. I'm so excited. I am so excited that I can move characters at an angle. I mean, this is just a stupid test. So, like, that doesn't really matter how goofy the character is right now when they're moving. The fact that it works is what I'm happy about. I still need to apply speed because it's only right now the character just walks one speed. But for the cinematic sequences, and there's so many other things, we're going to want the character to walk directly to the point rather than like via grid. We have it, folks. We have it. It exists. I'm so happy by this. What can I do? I want to see if I can make it do a whole nother angular movement. Like, what if I make him walk up here? 32-23. The next step is going to be making pathfinding. Not tonight. We're not doing that tonight. I'm going to take a W on the fact that I just got that crap work. And all I had to do was use the right variable. Could have been working an hour ago. But instead, I stupidly accepted what Copilot gave me without reading it. Oh, man. Live and learn? Nope. Not at this point. Oh, wait. How did I miss all the chat? Did it all just hit at once? What happened? Weird. Right now, I'm consuming a product that doesn't have calories listed. A cigar. I've had a couple cigars in my life. You know what I didn't realize about cigars? Especially if you haven't ever had them. They give you a buzz. Oh, moonwalking. Okay. So he didn't go in the right direction. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I think this is a good note to wrap up on. I'm happy. I got something working. I have some tweaking to do, but like, it's amazing. My wife's texting me, so that's good. Credits. Thank you for the raids to TBD Gamer. And thanks for the follow. Herbal Cascade. Cage raided. Killboy subbed. It's all good. I'm not listening. No. Dude, nothing makes me happier than smoking a nice cigar on my back porch. Some people like it. I gotta look something up before I go? Okay. I'm looking up. What am I supposed to see? What's that? Thanks, Laser. Thanks for hanging out the whole time. All right. What am I supposed to look up? I'm going to raid out. Should I raid out? Do you have a recommendation? Is there someone I should raid? You want me to raid you? Oh, I heard about the O'Reilly's art. I've done that thing before. What is it? It's the part. Hold on. Yeah, the flux capacitor. Speaking of deflux. It's not available for purchase. Oh. I wanted to buy that though. Blazor. Hold on. Yeah, I don't see any of my usuals anyway. Well, there's Aria ADM. Who's this? No, let's go look at. Is it Alu? How do you say that? Alu the Crow? Let's do this. Raid. We're gonna go send some raid love. I remember I had looked that up in the past. Wait, not raid. Hype. There's some hypes. You can choose which ones you want. I will be back on Tuesday. Working on more stuff. More of my project to annoy my partner on the project. Thanks all for hanging out. Thanks for coming with the raids. Fun times. We're going to get an update out any day now. On Tuesday, I should have some really interesting stuff to talk about, kind of, but not in depth. Anyway, y'all have a good night. See ya.